Yo, what up, what up? Welcome back. I'm your host, B. Riders, my co-host,
J. Bell.
And this is
Final Thoughts.
Today's topic, should prostitution be legal? Let's check it out.
Uh-oh.
Concerned.
Here we go. Oh, the light on.
Yeah.
It's gonna work. Don't worry, you guys.
I'm Alice Little, and I am a legal sex worker.
Hi, I'm Lexi Jade, and I'm a legal sex worker.
We are legally required to use condoms by law for each and every sex act. And when it comes to going down on the ladies, we have dental dams available too. There's a huge conflation between forced, coerced sex trafficking and sex work. The biggest difference is choice. Those of us that choose to enter the industry do so of our own volition and freedom.
We retain ownership of our bodies. We set our own prices. We say no when we want to. We can be in the middle of a party and I can ask you to leave and you have to leave. Everything is our choice. Everything goes as far as we want.
This year, I will be paying over 6 figures in taxes. I file as an LLC, much like any other business would, and then I'm able to deduct my expenses from that, of which there are quite a few.
Yeah.
We are independent contractors at the ranch. That's what allows us to have the freedom to set our own prices, offer the services that we want. We're essentially all businesses within a business. Yes, as a legal sex worker, my experience is going to be very different than those that are working on the streets. I am offered legal protection. There is a security gate, and I have a panic button in my room that I can press if I ever feel the need. Because of the legal nature of my industry, it tends to keep away those that would have ill wish. People who come to see us aren't seeking to bring violence to women. They're seeking out intimacy, which is a beautiful and healthy thing. There are so many different services that are offered by legal sex workers. The service that I most get requested for is GFE, or the girlfriend experience, where we might go out for dinner or lunch, have a conversation, and it's so much more than just the sex. It's the intimacy of it. They want that active listening, the companionship. We work with virgins. We work with straight women that have never learned how to interact with their own bodies in a pleasurable way. I have also worked with folks that are on the autism spectrum in teaching them new ways of communicating and experiencing dating in a way that's healthiest for them.
I really enjoy being a safe place for a couple to come into when you're unsure. Things can go beautifully. It literally can change someone's relationship. So that's been very requested and very rewarding.
So, should prostitution be legal?
Yes. All right. Thank you for showing up. That's been the episode. I'm your host, B. Ryder, and that's
G. Bell.
This is Final.
You play too much.
Nah. For real though, I do think that prostitution or sex work, whatever you want to call it,
In general.
yeah, sex work, period, should be legal. I can give you reasons why, but I'm gonna start with you. Do you think it should be legal?
Yeah, definitely. It's well past time, I think.
Come
Just
on,
like
the oldest,
oldest profession.
yeah,
Oldest-
and everyone knows this.
Oppression. Yeah, like whatever you want to call it, it's been around since been.
Pimp. I'm talking about pimping, been since pimping, since been pimping, since been pimping.
Since we had part A's and part B's,
There you go.
and sometimes part C's. Yeah,
For parties.
yeah.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
It's been here, but
Right.
this has been around. It's been a part of damn near every culture in some capacity. But it's not going anywhere, obviously, right?
No.
Because it's in our culture, it's in our society,
Yeah.
and like it's still illegal in most parts of the U.S. And how's that working out for us right now?
Bad.
You know, like so there's certain parts to this, right? So
Right.
people will be like, I don't want it to be legal because people could have an STD and spread it and blah blah blah. And I'm like, people do that already. Why do you think that other people have STDs to begin with? Because they don't get checked out or they see symptoms and still have sex with people. Some people get an STD and have that vengeful spirit and want to spread it because I feel victimized. Now I need to make everybody feel a certain way. So it's not about the profession itself.
No.
You know, when people say that, I'm like, that's bull. You know what I'm saying? That's bull. People, okay, it's that person's body, right? They should have like complete control, domain, whatever you want to call it, over their body. And if they want to sell their body for a specific price for a certain amount of time, they should be able to do that. And it's weird that other people are telling you can't do that. That's strange to me.
You can't do that.
Nah, you can't do that. You can't fuck that guy because he's willing to pay for it.
Yeah.
That is blasphemous.
What?
It is the damnedest thing that it's illegal to sell what you can give away for free, right?
Yeah.
You can have sex with somebody, but you can't pay them to have sex. So that we draw the line right there. Right?
we don't like that.
Yeah,
because
yeah,
that's just crazy.
But it's more than that. It's like what are the reasons why we should have legal prostitution? What do you think? Because we've heard the reasons why we shouldn't. Why should we have it? What are the benefits?
All right, so I think it would be a benefit. We would have less hookers in jail. Because why are they there for that? That's stupid to me. Two, we might have, if we can make it legal, maybe society will see it as something that's something you don't have to demonize, both on the women and men's perspective. There's the part where we look at them as whores.
You're a whore.
And all that kind of stuff. And we look at the men as like weirdos. Those who can't get laid and all that kind of stuff. It'll take the stigma off of it if we just, it's permissible, it's okay, it's cool. All right, he slept with a prostitute or a hooker or whatever name that people call people in sex work. And I think that'll be a good contribution to society. Like if you remove the stigma, we won't have all the weirdness around it.
Yeah. To me, it's like there's so many upsides to it that it's really weird why we still have it, criminalized. So it's like we can, there are different avenues we can go with it. We can decriminalize it or we can legalize it. Decriminalization is basically like it's no longer a criminal offense. You can't be punished for it by being thrown in jail or prison or doing time. But that doesn't take away like the civil part of it. So if we decriminalize prostitution, you can still like get a fine for it, right? So to me, I lean more towards legalization because legalization basically means government regulated. And when you're talking about prostitution, I think that we need a little government regulation there just to avoid like child sex workers or human trafficking, like human that type of thing. Of course, so this is one instance where I'm okay with the government getting their hands in this to protect the unwilling participants in this. I'm fine with that. But as far as everything else, you should have autonomy of what you do with your body. If you want to sell your body, you should have the freedom to do that.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like you said earlier, that's where they draw the line. If you pay for it, the cops knock on the door and they're like, "Hey, you guys are having sex." And you're like, yes. Yeah. Did he pay for it? And you look at each other like and the NC
Brings out handcuffs.
Spicy.
Give you that Shaq face. Come on now.
Yeah, that's some weird stuff. Like, you know, but did he pay for it?
But did he pay for it? Gotta haul you in for that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take you downtown.
Yeah.
But she just was downtown. Okay.
Stop.
But seriously though, it's like this is something that would benefit like sex workers as well, like because in other countries they've done things like they've decriminalized sex work for the sex worker, and they've basically made it so that if you pay for sex you can be punished, but if you're selling sex you won't be punished for that, which is still yeah.
I don't understand. I don't understand, bitch. Don't understand. I don't understand.
Yeah, there are countries, I think
If they're selling it, then it requires a payment.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Cool. We're on the same page. Right. So there are some Nordic countries. I think Sweden maybe is doing something like where there's like a good heart to it, I guess, because they don't want to punish the prostitutes who may be in a bad situation, and you're punishing someone who is financially, in a bad place.
Yeah.
So it makes no sense. So they start punishing the people who have the disposable income to pay for hookers, and it's basically a roundabout way to discourage prostitution by punishing the people who pay for it and not the prostitutes themselves. Right.
But how do they get the pay? Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
All that does is, I know it sounds like a good idea. It's
silly.
It's silly because you're basically still forcing prostitutes into bad situations with people, because now the guy who's paying for it, like the prostitute has to come to him because he can't just go out on the street, and it's more likely that bad things can happen because this guy's looking over his shoulder, and now the prostitute who's still willing to sell sex has to basically conform to the wills of the guy who doesn't want to get caught paying for it. It's still not a good idea.
Yeah. And my thing is like, what happens if that guy gets caught and, obviously the prostitute is okay because they're going after the people that's paying for it.
Right.
I don't think he's going to be in jail for life. So what happens when he come back out? He's on the street again, and he see, that's old Roxy who set me up.
Right.
That's now what we're doing.
That's hurting her clientele too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's just freaking legalize it, because it just makes sense to do it. We can legalize it. We can regulate it. We can have it like, I think the saying is sex work is work.
Yeah.
Hashtag sex work is work.
It is work.
Yeah. It's freaking
doing
work.
a good service to a lot of men who
only
can't
fans
get laid.
Anybody. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
And this country has a really, really big incel issue. So
Yeah.
if these guys have it available and just can pay for it, then great. We won't have all these damn shootings and all all that kind of stuff. It'll probably lessen that because they're getting laid. I mean, it's unfortunate that is the answer to that,
but
I only could see the positive on it. I don't really see the negative on it. That's just me. That's just
right. So my final thoughts on this is basically, let's go ahead and legalize this, because there are too many good things. Like, if there's one thing that I could change about our society that is reasonable, that's doable, it would be this. It would be legalizing and taking the stigma away from sex work, because one, it helps the sex workers themselves be safe and not force them into situations where they have to be in a back alley pleasuring some guy who may want to rape them or do something foul to them. But also, it's better for women in our society in general, because let's say sex work becomes legalized and any guy or whatever can go to whatever place to, get his rocks off and go home, and there's no stigma behind it or anything. The guy who approaches a woman at a Dairy Queen or at a Walmart or whatever, and he's interested in talking to her, she's gonna be more aware or certain that this guy really likes me, because if he wanted sex, he could just go to the brothel on the corner to get it. He could just go up the street to get that, like everybody else does. Yeah. But this guy is interested in me. So it must be something beyond sex, because we can get sex anywhere. So that's like kind of the woman's side of it. And the guy side that I see is that men, we won't be so in our heads about sex or our next sexual encounter. When are we gonna get off next or anything? Who are we gonna have sex with next? We can just kind of get our rocks off and then go about our day. We won't have to deal with like incels not having to, or being in these situations where they're angry or frustrated that they can't get women, because you can get a woman. You can get a woman anytime, as long as you can pay for it. It's cool. It's fine. And now we take the pressure off of men, because now there's one less thing you have to worry about. You can focus on your career, your kids, or whatever else you got to focus on. But that's me. That's how I see it anyway. If we could do that, I think we'd make our society a better society. What should we find?
That was a real in-depth, analysis on the situation. Mine isn't so in-depth. I'm not going to even lie. I ain't gonna hold you. Mine, I have a different outlook that I'm looking from. Like, to me, this is just another play on women. This is just another thing that men feel like they can control. Because let's think about it. Who's really calling the shots? Who's really pulling the strings? It's men. Men are trying to control women's body. I don't know why. We did one on abortion not too long ago, and this is the same thing that we're talking about. Controlling women's bodies. Don't understand it. Don't get to fix it. I don't understand why we're trying to do this. It's a no-brainer to me that women should be able to do what they want to with their bodies. Like the hotel situation I brought up earlier, that is crazy. Like, but did you pay for it? Right. Yeah, I paid for it. Now you go to jail. Oh, I didn't pay for it. Oh, okay. Y'all have a good night. What?
Carry on. Chuck.
Is that not crazy to you? Is that not weird? And yes, we should have like B did. He did his thing on that. Like, it shouldn't be like sex trafficking and child. Yeah. Underage kids engaging in like sexual acts and stuff like that. Yes, of course. We don't want that. We do want people, women specifically of age, who want to be in the sex industry or whatever you want to call it. Sex work is work. End of story.
Sex work is work. I like it. But thank you for listening to our ramblings, y'all. I'm your host, B. Ryder, co-host
J. Bell,
and this has been
Final Thoughts. No.
Talk to us, not about us. We have medical professionals to take care of healthcare needs. We have childcare providers to take care of childcare needs. We have mental health professionals to take care of our mental health needs. Spiritual leaders to take care of our spiritual needs. Why not sex workers to take care of our sex needs? And that's what we do. We take care of that need.
You're welcome.